Okay, here we go. So when I first start out, there's going to be two things that I'm going to work with at the beginning because we need to get these things going first. The first thing, if I go down here and say just show the ships, pretty much you can get away with your exploration ship here, just leaving it as is. So you don't really have to do much here. You can just work with it. So really what we're going to do is we're going to work on our bases. Now, I personally, what I like to do is I don't like to use the default small spaceport. I like to use that later on in the game when I start needing them. And I feel like you can get away with just using small and medium on most planets. And then I use the large one. Again, these are all just place settings. You can design the smallest ones to be under the large spaceport if you wanted to. So they're just place settings. But what I like to do is I like to, at the beginning, go ahead and delete the large one. Then I go to the small and I go to copy as new. That carries all that over. And then I go down here and I change this to large spaceport. And then usually I just leave it at that. Now, the thing that I'm going to make sure that I don't do is in the other one, when you start getting in medium and large, they start adding research labs to it. So you would see that over here. But we're not concerned about that. But what I do want to do is go ahead and go over this screen a little bit so you know what's going on. If you ever create something from scratch, you will have a list of things here that you need to add. And right now it says to consider adding some things. It does say to consider adding labs. I don't like putting my labs on my spaceport, so that's why I don't do it. We don't have shield technology, armor technology, or energy collector technology yet. Over here, you're going to see how much excess energy you have left to run certain things. You always want to make sure that this number here, 114, is greater than this number here, which is 89. That's how much it costs if all your weapons were firing at once. So you want to make sure that that is enough to cover this down here. So for now, I'm going to just leave it at that. That's all I do with my spaceport at the very beginning. Now, the reason why I'll do it here is as my home colony grows, what I would do is just come in here and increase certain things. So if I look down on this screen down here, and I can't show it because I don't have one built, it'll say if there's any ships waiting. If I start seeing a lot of ships waiting, then I'll go ahead and come in here, edit this, and I will add more docking bays. Now, if I start seeing a lot of them, that depends on where it's waiting. If it's waiting to dock, that's what it would do. You go into your construction queue and you see a lot of backed up work there, then you can start adding extra construction yards. So right now there's 4 construction yards, which means 4 ships can be built in parallel. Now you got to remember that not everything is built on your spaceports. Large things like your colony ships, your construction ships, and resupply ships, they are built on the planet, in the planet's construction queue. But things like your spaceports, you know what, actually, I think spaceport might be built on the planet as well. Things like all your ships, though, all your ships are going to be built at the spaceport. So anyway, I'm going to skip that. So I'm going to hit save. Now over here, it says retrofit automatically. And to be honest with you, I don't know if this even works correctly. I keep it on automatic. In theory, that would mean that when there's an upgrade available, it'll automatically retrofit. But I must be missing something on that because that seems to never work. Supposedly, if your ships are out and they're set on automated, they will occasionally come back to port and then upgrade to the most recent design. But again, I don't ever see that happening in game, but it might have something to do with the way I've got those policies set up. But over here, you definitely want to keep this set to manual for now. Now, if you leave your small and medium spaceports set to automatic, then they will go ahead and keep up with the automatic upgrades so that you don't have to fool with it. but on the ones that you want to make sure you're in control of, you want to keep it on manual. Now, the other thing that we're going to need to begin with is a research station. Now, the classic way to do it is to just build 3 different research stations around your home base. And you can certainly do that. For convenience purposes, what I like to do is go ahead and grab any one of these right here. And I'm going to copy as new. And I'm going to change the name of it to Home Research. And that's it. And then that way, what I'll also do, this one has some energy research already on it. I'm going to go ahead and sort by category. I'm going to look for labs down here, and I'm going to beef this up so that I'm going to take it up to like 120. And then I'm going to add these other 3. Do the same, except on high tech, I'm going to give it a little bit extra. So it'll be a little bit imbalanced towards high tech so we can get that little extra push for warp drive once it's available. Actually, it's not high tech. Excuse me. Bring that back down to 4. It's energy that we want. This middle one here. I'd like to buff that up just a little bit more. Now, if you notice up here, it tells me I need more HAB and life modules. So I will go and add those. HAB and life. Now, I'm not going to worry too much about having armament on here, at least not early in the game. But later on, if you have any scientists on this, you want to make sure that you buff it up with both shields and armor. And another thing you want to make sure you put on here, once we get them, and I don't think it's not even selectable, but it'll be pods, boarding pods, which can be used. They do 2 things. Once you get them researched, they can be used to capture other ships, but they work as defense against other people trying to board your station. So you would buff those up as well. But for now, this has got pretty much everything we need. And I'm going to go ahead and hit save. Now I'm done with this for now. But for the sake of showing what I'm going to put on most of my starting colonies, I am going to do something brand new, just to show you how to do it. I want to go down here to say, I'm going to start from scratch, just because I want to show all the steps to make a minimal spaceport. Actually, you know what? It would defeat the purpose to do this now because I do not have the medical and the recreational center and the medical center available. But what you would do is you would go to copy as new. Oops, sorry, that's not what we want to do. We want to go as add new. And then what I would do is I would go down here to roll, and I would go to just Starbase. And then I would systematically add everything it tells you that you have to have for a Starbase. And then I would also add the recreational center and the medical center. And then I would save that under something like basic colony base. And then every time you get a new colony, unless you know right away that you're going to want to put some kind of a small spaceport, then you would just start it out with that basic colony base, and that would be it. And then that gives all the bonuses to the planet that it would need to be able to keep a good population growth. Now, another thing that you'll start noticing as you expand is that it's very hard. This game is not like Stellaris, where you can have like this doom stack, where all of your fleet is in one place and you can effectively guard your entire empire with that one fleet. In this game, if you get attacked on the outskirts of your, I'm just going to cancel out of this. And then we're done here. If I have this is my system here, And I have a system out here that I own. By the way, this is a really crummy start. We don't have a lot of close planets. I would probably restart this game. But if I have a planet out here as well, and my fleet's over here, I'm not going to get there fast enough. So in this game, it's very important that if you have systems that you really care about, that you want to put defensive bases up. And you would also have smaller fleets scattered in certain areas where you can defend regionally. And I'll show that in the next video. But for the sake of this, of what we're doing now, I'm going to go back down here. And now I'm going to go to my colony. And I'm going to change, I'm going to start building. So the first thing I want to build, and I'm going to actually, you can either right click and do it, go down here, and you would go to saving again. I would go to home port. I believe I saved that. Or you could do small spaceport. Let's see, I can't remember if I saved the one I just made or not. Yeah, you just select spaceport, and then you would also select your research center, home research center, like that. Those two will start going. And then as soon as you get your spaceport up, you go ahead and queue up your exploration ships. Now, like I said, once you get your exploration ships up, you're going to want to make a beeline. Now, usually, this really is a crummy start. Usually, you have two systems with ruins. I'm sorry, two ruins in your system. Now, this is actually good in the sense that you will be able to, you know exactly where you need to send your exploration ship to get to those warp precursors, but it's not good in the sense that you don't have a lot of resources in here. However, I believe it is set up to always have at least one gas planet that has fuel, which in the early game is going to be Caslon. So you will send out your two exploration ships. One, in this case, one will just go to this, and the other one, as soon as it leaves the planet, you're going to be able to scan this gas giant, and then you would send them over here. And after that, you can just automate and have them research, or I'm sorry, explore your entire system and just wait for that warp component to be discovered. Then once you do that, you need to go into, you need to be sure that you go in and you upgrade. Now, what you're going to be, during this time, you might get a hab, I'm sorry, you might get your, what we're looking at here, you might end up getting your medical center and your entertainment center, recreational center, and what is this one called? Yeah, medical center and recreation center. As those pop up, you will want to go into your designs and add them to your spaceport so that you make sure. Now, the automatic one, all you would have to do for these, if you just use the prefab ones, you would just go to your small spaceport, and it should automatically upgrade. You'll see over here that it says Spaceport 1. If you were to hit auto upgrade, if you notice that name changes, then it's probably added those components for you. But then after you hit auto upgrade, you would then go into edit. Now, this design's already there, but if the auto upgrade worked, you would come in here and it wouldn't give you that warning, and you'd be able to see that hab, I'm sorry, that recreational center and med center. That'll be what you'll do early on. After that, really, you're just waiting on those warp core precursors to be done. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this video now. I'm going to then start a new one with my game that's up and running and show you some of the things that I've done.